Hi, hand readers. I'm Jennifer. I've been practicing and teaching and writing about chirology and palmistry for very many years. As I mentioned in last week's video, the 5-realm counseling and coaching model that is intrinsic to 5-element chirology provides a context and, in a sense, really the content of how to structure your reading. And it ensures that the reading isn't some sort of hit and miss affair. So we very specifically are looking at the physical, which is the earth level, which I'll explore with you today, the water level, the emotional level that is, the fire, which is to do with the vocational and creative areas of people's lives, the air level, which is the mental, intellectual, and the spiritual level. And I'll be covering each of them week by week. But for today, I'm going to try, in as much as I can, present a bite-sized chunk of how we read and what we look for in the earth realm. In fact, discussion and exploration of each individual realm is at least a one-day workshop per realm. There is so much, but I'm going to do my best to just at least bring you some kind of introductory presentation today. So each realm breaks down into specific components and clusters of human experience, and again breaks down further into what I refer to as counseling themes or coaching themes. The realms are actually based on the principles of the elements. So of course, the earth realm relates to the more physical components of people's lives. So very specifically, that would break down to our health, any matters to do with health. Although, let me say as a proviso that health is not just about the body. Of course, health is about the emotions, it's about the mind, it's about the spirit. So it's a very vast topic when we're talking about health or when we're counseling and coaching people on a health level. When it comes to counseling, for example, in the realm of health, clearly we'd need to be specialized, and besides it's actually contraindicated to diagnose through palmistry or chirology. That being said, there are very many indicators in the hands that do relate to relatively minor ailments that we hand readers can pick up super quickly. So there's a bit of a gray zone between what do you and what don't you diagnose. So in conversation, in chirology, we really are discussing the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual components of their health. Then we look into the family life, the family being the infrastructure that grounds us initially in our lives. Anything within the family infrastructure would be an earth realm counseling and coaching theme. Our home life, that would include, for example, a conversation pertaining to moving home or moving country, and money. So these are the primary areas, and of course those are going to break down still further into very many different potential counseling and coaching themes. Around money, there would be a possible inquiry into what for the person constitutes enoughness. Of course, some people have got money as their highest value. I've mentioned this before. I had a client like that just yesterday, as a matter of fact, in an agony of crisis around the pull towards spiritual development and the obsession with working 24/7 on earning money. That is very critical for some people. So there you have a perfect earth level and in a sense also chi level, spiritual level, counseling and coaching theme where there's this paradox in people's lives. So that's just one example. Another example might be people who live amongst chaos. Earth always likes structure and system and order and routine. So if somebody lives chaotically in a mess, or if they have a tendency to hoard, or they're not accountable in some way, then perhaps you could counsel them on the level of how to bring more routine into their life, which is another earth quality based on the principles of earth, which is all about routine and structure and order, as I've just said. How to perhaps meet their own needs and preferences in a more structured way. There's another example of an earth level counseling and coaching theme. Another aspect would be the role of responsibility in life. And the exploration would be around how does that person manage their responsibility? How do they show up? But of course, what we're really seeking to do, as I kind of keep saying, is to try and help the person find ways to support themselves. What I've done for today's little video is I've just chosen 3 possible markings on the hands that I see as, for me, work as portals into a particular conversation that might pertain to the earth realm of counseling and coaching. The first one I'm going to talk about is lower back problems. The earth element governs our bones, and the area in our hands that symbolizes or represents lower back is at the base of the earth line and the beginning of the minor earth line. In other words, just above the wrist at the bottom of the hand. In palmistry, that is the life line and the fate line, or the Saturn line, or the career line, or the destiny line, and many names for the various lines. But if you look in this area as per this image that I'm showing you here, you can see how messy and islanded it looks. And this could be a clue, not necessarily, not inevitably. There's always some intuition involved here. What's quite interesting is that I took this palm print many years before this lady started manifesting these very severe lower back problems and the inflammatory conditions in her lower back. She's had 3 lower back operations. She lives in constant agony. This is one of those what comes first, hen or egg situations, but certainly an opportunity with your client or with yourself to have a look at your hand, see whether you've got an islanded, messy look to that area of your palm, and know then that almost it's like a forewarning that there's a message that to really take very careful care of that part of your body. The second example of a marking in a hand that can take me personally into a conversation about matters to do with the earth element, such as responsibility, is known as the loop of serious intent. Here's an image of a very beautiful loop of serious intent, and it is really all about a deep inner sobriety, some element of conservatism in the person, no matter how wild and, let's say, rebellious they might have been at some point in their life. They will always come back to really wanting to have responsibility. It's almost like responsibility is what gives them freedom in the long term. Another thing I've noticed, especially here in South Africa, with this enormous population of migrant workers, black workers who earn a pittance and who have families to support, is that their minor earth line or the fate line runs very deeply up over the Saturn mount and basically into the middle finger, into the earth finger. And that is a sure sign, especially if in combination with a loop of serious intent, that the person bears a tremendous amount of responsibility. As you can see in this photograph of this extremely broad curve of the lifeline, the earth line, that sweeps so wide it even sweeps past the middle point of the hand, this might be an indicator of tremendous generosity, of an humanitarian quality, of a philanthropic quality, of a person who might seek to promote the welfare of others, who is generous with their money towards good causes. And their style of giving might not be financial. There could be some other type of generosity, of course, but this is here again another example of a conversation around matters to do with money, how they relate to money, and how generous they are with their money. Of course, if this is present with the so-called humanitarian line, which is when the water line, the heart line, extends in a straight line all the way across from the baby finger side of the hand to the thumb side of the hand, that would further bed down the likelihood of the person being humanitarian and generous in the way they give of themselves. In the third book I wrote, which is my favorite book actually, and to my mind the best book and the most user-friendly, and the one that I do recommend for beginner hand readers, in fact for all hand readers, it's called Chirology, Palmistry and Hand Reading. Here's the cover. I have presented the 5-realm counseling and coaching model in the section on counseling. And if you'd like to purchase the book, you're very welcome to look at the link below. It'll take you through to Amazon. Or you can contact me directly for an online version. Finally, let's just play around for a moment with some concepts to do with the earth element, which of course in a healthy function sustains us, supports us, fertilizes and nourishes us. But for some people, their earth element swallows them, suffocates them, suppresses them, and really it's as if they're overwhelmed by the oppression of things like money, family matters, overwhelm of responsibility, and health matters. So there's a lot of inquiry and a lot of potential conversation about these various counseling and coaching themes that pertain specifically to the earth realm, or the earth level of the 5-realm model. If you're interested in the 5-element system and you'd like to learn a little bit more about the earth element and how it interplays and interweaves its way through our life, and also what the earth element archetype person might be like, what they exhibit, their their traits, their qualities, their skills, their talents, and so on, you might want to have a look at this video. I do offer online readings. Please contact me. You'll find my info at the end of the video if you'd like to have a reading with me, or if you'd like to study with me. I've got 3 wonderful optional courses. And next week I'll be talking about the water level of the 5-realm model. I look forward to chatting with you then. Bye for now.